Pete McClean from Resolute Medical. Sir?
Thanks, Bill. Thanks for the opportunity to speak today. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Pete McClean with Resolute Medical. Next slide, please. So why create Resolute? The executive staff from Resolute all came from a different medical device manufacturing company. And us, like every other medical device manufacturing company out there, they design products for the hospital, and then they try and retrofit them for the field. And we looked at it and said, you know, why don't we flip that script? And why don't we design products specifically for the field? And then, oh, by the way, if you need to use them in the hospital, you can use them in the hospital. Next slide, please. So an example of that is a typical manual defibrillator and your typical 12-lead ECG. As you can tell, they're both very big, they're bulky, they're heavy. The difference between the two, if you don't know, is the conventional 12-lead has diagnostic capabilities. It also has communication capabilities. The defibrillator doesn't have either one of those, but it has defibrillation capabilities. So what we did was we looked at this size and this weight, and we said, this is what the typical warfighter, typical medic has to go into theater with, whether it's in the fob or whatnot, and we wanted to make something different. Next slide, please. So what we did was we came out with a new, the first, the only truly expeditionary 12-lead EKG. This EKG weighs a pound. It's relatively small. It's about the size of your iPhone. This is the entire device. So as you can tell, we've taken that weight from 16, 19 pounds down to a pound. What we've then done is paired that with a Panasonic Toughbook tablet. And this is the 7-inch version. And we've put that into a Pelican case and also provide nylon. The nice thing about this that we'll get into is this device also has communication capabilities as well as diagnostic capabilities. It is, I'm not going to tell you that it's Army proof, because as soon as I do that, you guys have a responsibility to go out and break it. But we've run it over with a car. We have, submerged it in water. It's very, very durable. Next slide, please. As I mentioned, it has an automated interpretation. So within 16 seconds of placing the leads on an individual, you will get a diagnosis of exactly what's going on. Now, we're the first ones to say that there's no better diagnosis than the human eye. But in talking to medics, what they've told us is we're not reading ECG strips every single day. So this is a tool. It's a tool to help them either validate what they are finding in their own interpretation, or it's a tool to help jog their memory in the event that they don't remember exactly what that rhythm is. Early screening and risk prevention. So what we mean by this is this device has a patented algorithm in it that can determine somebody's susceptibility to going into sudden cardiac arrest. Now, we don't come out and say that this individual is 40% likely or 80% likely to going into sudden cardiac arrest, but what we do say is there's something in this algorithm that we don't like, and here's why. So on the commercial side, what we're starting to see is a lot of university and college sports teams are using this. As athletes are coming in, they're screening them to say, is there a potential that down the road there can be some sort of issue? We're seeing professional sports teams use this device. Before the NFL draft, a few of the NFL teams, each guy that they were looking at potentially drafting, they hooked up to these devices to say, before we spend millions and millions of dollars drafting this individual, is there a potential that down the line something can happen? Remote consultation. With one button, you can save this information. You can save it as either a JPEG or a PDF. You can print this to any printer, and you can email it. And when I say you can email it, it also has encryption and decryption capabilities. So we've got medics out in the field that they don't know exactly what's going on. They want to help triage. They want to get some expert consultation. With one button, they can send this off. Next slide, please. So as I mentioned, one of the things that we're doing and one of the ways that we see this in the Army is recruiting and screening those individual recruits coming in to be able to say, is there something going on with this individual right now that we need to go and have a cardiologist take a deeper dive look at before entering the service? Or is there something potentially down the road that we need to watch this individual warfighter? Again, with the automatic and diagnostic capabilities, it makes it extremely easy and portable for these individual medics out in the field to utilize this equipment. Back up one slide, please. One of the nice things about this, again, as I said, it only weighs a pound. This device doesn't even have a battery inside of it. All the power is run through the Panasonic Toughbook tablet. So depending on the version of the Panasonic tablet that you look at, you've got either a 6-hour or an 8-hour continuous run rate. Okay, next slide, please. Unsurpassed portability. Again, when we take a look at this, we put it inside of a Pelican case. This entire solution now weighs 3 pounds. We've listened to the individual medic who's told us ounces equal pounds and pounds equal pain. We need you to make something smaller, lighter, and more portable. You've now got something that you've reduced the size from 19.6 pounds down to 3 pounds. We also see this as it allows trainers and medics to screen and evaluate, and this is great for medevac situations. You know, we've talked to the Navy subs. One of the things that they've told us is if they can't figure out what's exactly wrong with that patient, they have to diverge, they have to submerge, they have to divert their mission to medevac that individual out. With this, what we can do is, again, provide your medics a tool that can help rule out a cardiac-related event. Next slide. Where we've seen this, where some of the applications, the device was released just a few months ago, mid-2015. We've had great feedback thus far on it. It's been tested and evaluated by MARSOC. It's been tested and evaluated by Customs and Border Patrol, as well as a few SEAL teams, as well as a number of other agencies. Next slide. Our goal is to help you achieve your mission, whether that's elevating the risk for sudden cardiac death among warfighters. There's been a number of studies that have been done that suggest that athletes are more likely or more prone to sudden cardiac arrest because of the stress that they put their bodies under. We believe that in the shape that our warfighters are in, that they fall into this category as well. So we want to look at that and get that known very, very quickly and eliminate that risk for sudden cardiac death. We can also, as I mentioned, with one touch, you can transfer the results to communication experts and use either encryption or decryption capabilities. It's also a very inexpensive option. Currently, it's about $10,000 less than the current available options that are out there right now. Next slide. One of the things that we've also done is one of the federal government agencies has come to us and says, you know, this is outstanding, however, we need defibrillation capabilities. So what we've done is we've paired that with a Philips FR3, which is the smallest, lightest, most ruggedized AED in the marketplace that has manual override capabilities. So now if we take this entire package, we've essentially created a manual defibrillator with the exception that it can't pace and can't cardiovert. However, what we've done is we've taken that overall package again from 19.6 pounds, which is just a manual defibrillator, or you add in the ECG that has the communications as well as the diagnostic capabilities, which is a total of roughly 30 pounds, and we've made that into a package that's 6 pounds. We've put it in muted mil-spec colors. And again, we provide it in both a Pelican case as well as nylon. Next slide. We've put a team of advisors together. We are very grateful to these individuals, Lieutenant Commander Jeff Williams, who you hear from in a few minutes, Colonel Jim Burke, Colonel Drobnika, as well as Mike Arnold from MARSOC, who we actually just hired as of October 1st. Next slide. And just to give you a little bit of background on who we are, our CEO, Dave Marver, was a CEO from Cardiac Science, was formerly with Medtronic. And then our COO, Bob Odell, was also the former COO of Cardiac Science and was the VP of R&D at Philips, Siemens, Medtronics. So we put together quite a team. So with that, I'll open it up to any questions. Looks good.
Looks like you're getting over easy, Pete. Thanks,
you so
Bill.
much. Appreciate it.